Give me
Thank you.
your biggest Brown take.
Yeah, I mean, not really a take, it's just fact. All right. Shedeur Sanders is a top 12 quarterback in the NFL when he gets the chance to start.
That's
It's
wild.
just plain and simple.
That's wild.
It's plain and simple. It's plain and simple. The stats and everything in college, it all proves this point. Put the risk up. You already know the deal. All right. So let's break it down. Let's break it down. Easy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Encinas Unfiltered. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Today we got week 2 fantasy football. So this week we're going to do a little bit different since there is actually a week 1 that had happened. We're actually going to do a recap because usually in the past we didn't, but there's been a lot of busts, some good booms too, but a shit ton of busts. So we're going to go over those. X is going to go over some injuries around the league. Kolby's got some waiver wire pickups for you for this week. And then we're going to get into our normal program, which is going to be our starts and sits. And just a reminder for the audience, because they keep saying, well, why aren't you starting Patrick Mahomes or Lamar? It's Lamar is a given. Josh Allen is a given. So that's not the case. So don't worry. These are mid-tier guys, the guys that you might put in bye weeks or just matchup based. So that goes for our quarterbacks, our running backs, our receivers, and our tight ends. And we're going to talk about defense as well. After that, we're going to get into some week 2 football bets. So we're going to look at the money line, the total points, or the over-under, and we're going to look at the spread, the plus and minus. Then we're going to get into some football news. There isn't a whole lot, but just a little bit here and there. And then Kolby's going to give us some hot takes, a little callback to last season where Kolby was on hot take duty. And then we have a member of the community. He goes by the name of H. He is our resident Browns fan, and he has a Shedeur Sanders take. He has a Caleb Williams take, and he has a Brian Thomas Jr. take. And you'll see that at the end. You'll see a nice little transition. You'll see a nice little transition there because full transparency, that was filmed on a Monday before we did this, just due to time constraints. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm really excited. There's a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to bore you with the intro for too long, but I'm going to get straight into the week 1 bust. So just a reminder, this is PPR format only, and the reason why I talk about PPR format is because I feel like that's the new normal or the new standard. So kind of disregard if you're in a hardcore standard or old school standard league. So quarterbacks, some of the busts of the week, you had Cam Ward, 12 for 28 with 112 passing yards, 2.48 points. So before we started filming, X started going on a rant about how Cam Ward isn't that bad. Honestly, I think I'd rather have Shedeur at this point. But X, do you want to chime in or do you want to save that for later?
Now you're saying that just to trigger me. I know you are. You might as well just say, you know what? We might as well just have Anthony Richardson at this point. Like, what the
shit?
fuck?
He probably would have done better.
No.
He'd actually had
Cam
some
Ward
rushing
did
yards.
fine.
Well, you
Cam
guys
Ward
got
did fine.
wrecked, and I think your defense is okay. So
the organization
next,
failed him.
We got Sam.
The organization failed him.
Well, I mean, that's not a big surprise. But next, we have Sam Darnold. He went 16 for 23 with 150 passing yards, 14 rushing yards, and he had a total of 5.4 points. I think a lot of people really had a lot of hope for Sam Darnold. I did not. Next, we had Tua, 14 for 23, 114 passing yards, 7 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions with 7.36 points for fantasy. He did not look good. Tyreek wants out. I think Tyreek needs to go to Kansas City if it were me. Yes. I don't think that happens, but that poor boy is just wasting the rest of his prime away because Tua can't get it done, and he's a flick in the nose away from being retired. So
start calling him
next,
Pua.
We got Dak Prescott. What's that?
Start calling him Pua.
Pua?
He's terrible.
Next, we got Dak Prescott. He went 21 for 34 with 188 passing yards, 3 rushing yards, and a total of 7.82 points. Not great for what he was expected to do. I will say CeeDee Lamb has the biggest butterfingers I've ever seen in my life. So honestly, blame CeeDee Lamb on a lot of those because Dak actually really didn't look too bad if you watched the game, but for fantasy reasons, he did not do good.
Yeah.
Next is Joe Burrow. Oh, Joe Burrow, why? He went 14 for 23, 113 passing yards, 3 rushing yards with 1 touchdown with a total of 8.82 fantasy points. He needs to step it up, but again, he always does bad against Cleveland, and he always has a really slow start.
Number 7 quarterback.
Bo Nix, 25 for 40. Next, Bo Nix, 25 for 40, 176 passing yards, 18 rushing yards with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions for 8.84 points. I will say I will give it to X because X did say Tennessee did have a good defense, and Tennessee did do their job. So X, good call on that. I wish your offense was as good as your defense. But I think Bo Nix will bounce back. It's just he was a bust this week. And last, I got CJ Stroud, 19 for 27 with 188 passing yards, 32 rushing yards, 1 interception for 9.72 points. And Nico Collins did bad too, but we'll get into that. So that's all I had for quarterbacks. Running backs, there's not as many. There's just a couple. So we have Nick Chubb. He got 60 rushing yards for 6 points. Nothing crazy. Tyrone Tracy had 24 rushing yards, 2 receptions. With 11 yards receiving. He only had 5.5 points. Kenneth Walker, that was a big one. 20 yards rushing, 3 receptions for 3 yards for 5.4 points, which is wild.
Second string.
Everyone thought he was RB1. Omarion Hampton had 48 rushing yards, 2 receptions, 4 for 13 yards, and 8.10 points. I think we were hoping for him to do a little bit better with a big preseason and
he'll start doing better. I mean,
I
Kansas
think
City is a really good defense against the run.
But this is just week 1 bust. This isn't like rest of the season.
No,
this isn't rest of the season. This is just this week. He didn't do so hot.
For sure, because even
next is
even
Tony
Dak
Pollard.
Prescott,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Even Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott went against Philly. Like, come on. Super Bowl champions. There's a reason why they were.
This is just week 1. This isn't.
No.
This is just recapping week 1. Yeah, not a big deal. It's not. We're just letting the people know in case they didn't know. They have it all in one place. Tony Pollard, 60 yards rushing, 1 reception for 29 yards, which I did like that. Yeah. He had 7.9 points total. I think he could have done better, but Tennessee really couldn't get it going on offense that game. And last, I had David Montgomery for 25 rushing yards, 4 receptions for 18 yards, which honestly kind of saved him in PPR formats because he had 8.30 points, but still would consider that a bust. And his snap share was really low. So really pay attention to that. That was the thing we were worried about, is the Lions offense without Ben Johnson, and it does not look good. So I will say that might have been overreaction, but that's just my first assessment of it.
Well, Gibbs got saved by PPR too.
Oh, yeah, 10 receptions. Wild. But that's why I couldn't include him.
With Montgomery, real quick, I mean, when the Lions are up and they're winning, Dave Montgomery's going to be a good play. But when they're playing someone that puts points on them, they're throwing it to Gibbs. They're putting Gibbs in there. So
I think
really
in all honesty,
the Lions can get off to a good start each game.
I think David Montgomery is actually now going to see production from this game just because they now realize that Jahmyr Gibbs can't hold it all himself. And I think they're going to resort back to that Ben Johnson, double-headed monster a little bit more. So I actually like David Montgomery further going on. It is trending towards him doing well.
Well, we will see because we have to see them in week 2, but I was not impressed with the Lions by any means. I was kind of embarrassed for him, not going to lie. All right, next we got receivers. So this guy technically didn't do terrible, but considering his ADP, I don't think he did very well. So Brian Thomas Jr. had 1 reception. Yeah. Yes. So Brian Thomas Jr. had 1 reception for 7 yards, 1 rush for 9 yards, and he had that rush for a touchdown. So that's really what saved his day. He had a total of 9 points. Man, it wasn't good. He didn't get a lot of production, didn't get a lot of looks.
We all got to remember.
I don't want
to. It's still Trevor Lawrence. Like, don't forget that. Well, he might be good.
I don't want to take.
It's still Trevor Lawrence.
If you want to see the take on Brian Thomas Jr., you can go and scroll. You can go on YouTube, and I'm leaving this all in. You can go and hit the tab and tags, and you can go all the way down. There's timestamps, and go to H's Hot Takes, and you'll see the Brian Thomas section. I think he does a really good job of breaking down why exactly this is. Spoilers, it's because Mac Jones and Brian Thomas Jr. was the only person there for the longest time, so that's why we've seen such a big uptick. Now you have Travis Hunter. That's just the Spark Notes version of it. So next, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had 4 receptions for 45 yards for 8.5 points. I know it's not anything crazy bust, but as far as like what you would expect for him to be as a first-round draft pick or early second, not really what you're wanting out of your number 1 guy there. Next is Tyreek Hill. 4 receptions for 40 yards, 8 total fantasy points. Not very good. Tua was having a bad day. And speaking of Tua, Jayden Waddle also was on the bust list. 4 receptions for 30 yards for a total of 7 points. Calvin Ridley, 4 receptions for 27 yards for 6.7 points. Jameson Williams, man, there's a lot of trends here. Jameson Williams, 4 receptions for 23 yards with 3 yards rushing for 6.60 fantasy points. Still not very good. T. Higgins, 3 receptions, 33 yards, 6.3 fantasy points. George Pickens, 3 receptions, 30 yards, 6 fantasy points. Nico Collins, another big name, 3 receptions for 25 yards for 5.5 points. Scary Terry, 2 receptions for 27 yards, 4.7 points. Jamar Chase, the big one, 2 receptions for 26 yards for 4.6 points. What an embarrassment. Devontae Smith, 3 receptions for 16 yards for 4.6 points. Cooper Kupp, 2 receptions for 15 yards for 3.5 points. I'm not surprised. A.J. Brown, 1 reception for 8 yards for 1.8 points. Mind you, there's people that drafted him number 1 in their league. Not like first round, but like that's receiver 1 for their team, a.k.a. Bevel. Huh. And he has this next guy, Xavier Worthy, 0 receptions for 1 target before Travis Kelce bulldozed him and dislocated his shoulder. So there's a lot of theories on what happened. I like to think that he did it to get more targets, but I think that's more the conspiracy theorist in me.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go to tight ends before we get into injuries. So the only tight end, honestly, that did bad, that was a big name, was Mark Andrews, who I actually really liked this week. He had 1 reception for 5 yards, 1.5 points. Lamar went off. Zay Flowers went off. Zay Flowers was receiver 1 this week. So, Mark Andrews is notable, or it's known that he sometimes has a slow start as well. Last year he got into that car accident. This year it's just a slow start. He did really good blocking. It was a really close game, but I wouldn't put too much stock into that and just kind of be mindful that it happened. But considering there's not a lot of tight ends, it's kind of a good sign. X, I'm going to actually let you go ahead and start getting into the injuries around the league. And then after that, Kolby's going to get into the waiver wire pickups. X, go for it.
So, injuries. Xavier Worthy got that dislocated shoulder. He got swifted real quick, straight to the ground.
Nice.
Then you got Brock Bowers, knee injury. I don't even know there. Honestly, I like Brock Bowers. I don't want to make a joke because I feel bad for the boy.
Yeah, don't.
I feel bad for the boy. George Kittle. Hamstring placed on IR. As I've been saying, George Kittle is an absolute joke. Love the boy as a person, football player. No. Boy gets paid, pulls the old Brandon Ayuk, gets paid, and just decides, you know what? I'm going to pop my hamstring.
God.
My goodness.
Something going on over there.
Simple, in perfect 49er fashion right here. Then you got Juan Jennings, shoulder injury, pussyitis, questionable. Brock Purdy, a toe injury. Boy's got a hangnail and says, I can't do it, coach. I can't go in there. And a shoulder injury, questionable with bitchitis. Good for him. Drake London, shoulder sprain. Drake London on my no draft list. So, this affects nobody. It should affect nobody because nobody should be drafting him. Evan Ingram, calf injury. Nobody even knows who that guy is anymore. Puka, possible.
Stop.
Nobody even knows who that man is anymore.
He's a top 10 tight end. Get out of here.
Oh, my God. Yeah, tight end straight to the fucking calf IR. Him and fucking Kittle are just living their best life on there, aren't they? Then you got Puka, the injury MVP, dude. This dude gets injured every single game. Holy shit. I mean, you know what, though? That boy bled for the boys. He bled for the boys.
He did.
You know what? I'm okay with that. You know what? I'm not going to be upset about that. If I had him, I'd be proud. Even if he was injured and not playing, I'd still keep him in my starting lineup just to be a champion.
I think he's going to play. I just saw that it's a possible concussion. He was evaluated and brought back in, but it's still something that just to monitor.
Yeah, I mean, he should be fine. He's used to injuries. He should be fine.
That's fair. All right, next we got waiver wire pickups. So Kolby, the floor is yours.
Alrighty. So I'm going to run through these waiver wire pickups real quick. So kind of the obvious ones is my boy Justin Fields. If that guy is still sitting on your waiver wire, not if you don't want to play him, just pick him up and block someone so they can't have him. Because if he keeps going, he's going to keep going. Okay? Justin Herbert destroyed the Chiefs. All right. I don't think X likes Justin Herbert. Pick up both the Justins.
Oh my God, please.
Okay.
You know what? If you want to lose your fantasy, pick up Justin Fields. You might as well pick up Daniel Jones to be his backup while you're at it, boys. Might as well. My goodness.
Hey, Kolby loves Justin Fields. If you guys want to know what we're raving about, if you go to our draft, what was it? Our draft show? It was when we did our draft
the rankings.
Kolby was really high on Justin Fields.
I ranked him top 15, and they didn't even rank him top 30.
We didn't rank him at all.
Come on.
We didn't rank him at all.
Come on.
And then I would tell you, he had a good game against a good defense, but I am concerned about total season, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'd say if he has 2 to 3 straight good weeks, he's a real deal. But we are experienced where he'll have a really good game, then he'll fall off the next game. So I'm just looking for consistency, and that if he starts being consistent, whoever has Justin Fields in my leagues, and he's going to be mine. So trading for him. So next guy is only rostered in like 4 or 5%. It's going to be Kayshon Boutte for the Patriots. So he has 6 receptions on 8 targets, 103 yards. And he was a really high prospect, so I actually did some reading up on him. And he was the fastest receiver at LSU to reach 100 career catches in about 21 games. He was projected a first-round pick, but got injured, had to get surgery, so really hurt his draft stock. And we're really expecting Diggs, someone over there, to be the one. I don't know if they're just keeping Diggs on a low snap share, is not one to get into some action early because he's still injured. Not 100% sure, but Kayshon Boutte, he's not rostered in a lot of places. You probably wait until waivers go through and pick him up, and not even waste your priority or your fab if you use fab. The next one's pretty obvious. Zach Charbonnet, he's the 1A in Seattle, out-snap Walker, outran Walker. And I don't know, could be because Walker's secretly injured like he always is, and they're trying to maintain him, trying to make sure he gets a little healthy, or
I think he got a foot injury.
Could be a switch.
What happened? He has a what?
I thought he had a foot injury. He was nursing before the game.
I mean, honestly, with Kenneth Walker, I mean, if they are hoping to make a playoff run, they probably need him available in the playoffs. So I agree with Kolby. I think he's probably going to. Zach Charbonnet did really well last year, so I don't see why not go with the younger guy and let him be the bull. So
next guy I got on here is Cedric Tillman, 5 catches, 8 targets, 52 yards, and a touchdown. And after Amari Cooper was traded last year, and before he got injured, he was averaging 75 yards, 6 receptions, and almost a touchdown a game. And that just goes to show that with him and Jerry Jeudy, they have a lot of targets. Joe Flacco, negative game script. They're going to be throwing the ball most of the time. So Cedric Tillman is a guy to be picking up. I do want to point out, I do not want to put Cedric Tillman or Kayshon Boutte into this episode because I do not want these two guys to hear what I was saying. But I had to for the viewers. So now I gave away my secrets. Next guy, pretty obvious. Keenan Allen. I'll gladly take him. I'll take this guy too. Keenan Allen. I mean, obvious. Keenan Allen. Everyone kind of doubted him. He's out there. Ran the most routes on the team out of all the wide receivers. That leads me to Quentin Johnston. I mean, he is wide receiver 3, but he had 5 catches, 7 targets, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a bunch of targets in the end zone, so I think that's probably what they're mainly be using it for in the end zone.
He is the biggest. He's the only one I'm going to interject on and say that he is going to be the biggest trap. He does it every year.
I agree.
He does it every year.
He's
every
okay.
year.
Let me ask you this question. I saw this. What 3 wide receivers have more than 3 20-point fantasy games since the beginning of last year?
No idea.
There's
Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson.
Probably Puka, maybe.
That's correct. Yeah. I think it's Puka. Guess how many Quentin Johnston has since that time? He has 4. He has the most 20-point games in the league. He's volatile. He's a volatile guy. I'm not saying you're going to pick him up. You're going to throw him into your wide receiver 2 spot, but you could pick him up and maybe one game they play someone like Chiefs where it's going to be a shootout and Justin Herbert's going to throw for 300 yards.
The problem
so he did run the second most routes on the team, more than Latin McConkey.
The problem is that he does it. He did this last year. He had 2 good games. Everybody was high on him. Everybody started him, and he got them 4 points every single week. And then he was back on the waiver wire. He would do it in another game, at a random game. Everybody would do the same thing and keep him starting for 2 more games, and those people did not make playoffs. 100% guarantee.
And just to interject, he also has some of the biggest butterfingers, second to CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
And
and
that shot was
Calvin
for Angel.
Ridley.
Oh God. Yeah. But just for me, I think for fantasy reasons, personally, like a personal opinion here, obviously, I wouldn't pick him up just because he is so boomer bust and volatile. That'd be different if there's a little bit more consistency. But I think he's a great pickup, like DraftKings. But for me, I don't, unless you're like in a really deep league, like a 12, 14 man league, and you need a good receiver, he might be a decent pickup.
That's what I'm kind of talking to is 12 team leagues, not really 10, the common 12. And, there's a lot of guys that could be getting dropped this week that maybe, you have an extra roster spot. So this guy, Quentin Johnson, is number 5, 6, maybe even 7 on this list of waiver wire pickups. So, I mean, you could be dropping Tank Bigsby, pick up Quentin Johnson if everybody else gets taken before your priority comes up. It's just kind of just a spot where you don't have empty place, and you never know what happens. You never know. Moving on to next guy, Saints. Yeah, he plays for the Saints, but it's Juwan Johnson. So with the other 2 tight ends injured, he has a 98.7% snap share, 27% target share, and is a tight end 1 for the Saints. So when playing with Rattler, pretty cool stats. Johnson averages 80% of snaps, 14 points per game, fantasy points per game, and 9.3 targets per game. Now, I don't know if those targets are good, but they're targets. And targets are everything, especially in PPR. So just keep an eye on that. If you had an extra spot, if you dropped a couple people, someone got injured, someone got traded like Bigsby, you can throw him on your bench, kind of block someone else from picking him up, and maybe he has a couple good games, you can trade him on his high and get some good hauls on your team. The next guy is a little bit of a rental, not a long-term option. It's going to be Hollywood Brown, 51% of the snaps in the slot. He had 16 targets, 10 receptions, 99 receiving yards. And I'm not for sure if this is, the week-to-week thing with Xavier Worthy getting hurt. Maybe they just kind of shifted towards Hollywood Brown. We'll have to see this next week kind of what the game plan is with a whole week of prep without Xavier Worthy. I'm pretty curious. If this happens again, it's a pretty clear sign that he's going to be a target hog. But again, I just want to point out this is a rental, not a long-term option. You'll have Rashee Rice back here pretty soon. Xavier Worthy, haven't heard much about his injury, but he could be back pretty soon. So I wouldn't say he's a very long-term option. Next guy is Harold Fana Jr. He's the Browns tight end rookie. He had 100% snaps and 12 personnel, so 2 tight ends, 29% targets per route run, 7 catches on 9 targets, and had about 60 yards. I do want to point out he did lead the Browns and Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco threw to him 9 times. He led the team in targets. So again, like I mentioned earlier, they're going to be negative game scripts. They're going to be chucking the ball, trying to get ahead. And, he's just a little sneaky pick, rookie. Didn't have a very good draft product or didn't really test well, but it's starting to work. Joe Flacco starting to throw it to him a little bit. And again, Dylan Sampson, got a little of a Browns theme here. But again, he was the early down back for the Browns. Jerome Ford didn't come in on the third downs, but even with Judkins coming back, Sampson may be a viable option in the future. It kind of just depends on what Judkins does, where Sampson's being used. He was a freaking dog in the SEC last year, so we're gonna have to see. That's just a wait and see type game. And the next guy, again, after Bigsby getting traded, Tootin goes up, running back 2. He's gonna get a little bit more opportunities there, and he's super fast. He's a really good prospect with great upside. Again, like you're sitting Braylon Allen, if you're trying to handcuff someone, is a rookie. I'd much rather handcuff a rookie knowing that they had the potential of exploding into a starting role or even getting 50% of the snaps, kind of like a Dave Montgomery Gibbs role. So I'm very interested in him and probably add him to the bottom after I drop Tank Bigsby. And the last one, which there's not a lot of information on him. I didn't have time to dig deep, but it is Alec Ailmaner from the Titans. He had 7 targets from Cam Ward. And again, just another little sneaky at the end that, you never know. Calvin really just can't be the only one to catch all the balls from Cam Ward. Cam Ward, might rely on another rookie and they get that bond going. And I don't know if he's the future, but he's a rookie. Cam Ward's a rookie. They got to build something there, a quarterback wide receiver connection, and he could be it. We never know. We'll have to see the next couple weeks. And the last pickup is going to be the Rams defense. So they held Houston to 0 touchdowns. And this week, they play the Titans, who settled for only 4 field goals and 0 touchdowns against the Broncos. So the Rams, their front end of their defense is looking absolutely scary. They made Houston's O-line look atrocious. So I'll be picking up the Rams. Probably not anymore with these 2 guys I play in leagues with. They'll be taking it from me, but definitely going to be trying to stream the Rams defense this week. And that is it for waiver wire.
All right, next we got our starts and assists in each position. Like I said at the beginning, we're going to do quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, and defense. We're each going to go over one. So I'll start first. At quarterback, I got Kyler Murray versus Carolina. Kolby, I know that's your boy. I really don't like Kyler Murray. He's a quarterback in my division, but he played very well last week. He's a runner. He's a track star. He could throw the ball. Marvin Harrison and him started getting some chemistry together. So I really like him. And Call of Duty has not dropped yet. And I want to, I know this is a joke from a couple years ago, but it has not dropped yet. He's still viable. Once it drops, fade him or trade him absolutely as soon as you can. Sitting. I said this last week and I ate my words, so I apologize, Patrick Mahomes, for saying to sit you, and you figured it out. Don't know why, but usually you're not fantasy viable. But he's playing against the Eagles. It's a Super Bowl rematch. I don't trust him with Xavier Worthy going down. Travis Kelce is very distracted. They're going to have to either throw it to Juju Smith-Schuster or they're going to throw it to Hollywood Brown or Pacheco or Hunt, and I didn't really like those options either. So I just don't think he has a good game for fantasy, and I would look for other options. X, you got starting this week at quarterback?
Starting, I got Dak Prescott because he only had a bad game due to the team that he was playing against. Philly's a good team, so it is what it is. Giants are absolute garbage. They haven't changed. So Prescott should have a better day, be able to build a little bit of a chemistry and in-game chemistry with Pickens and get CeeDee Lamb to build a little bit more confidence on those hands. Sitting, you're going to sit Daniel Jones against Denver. Daniel Jones had a good game because Miami is absolute garbage. Denver is always a top 5 defense, and they're not going to stop just because Daniel Jones all of a sudden is, doing well. Third play of the game, Daniel Jones couldn't even throw a pass to a guy who was standing there wide open. So, yeah, I highly doubt he's going to be able to do it with Surtain there.
Kolby, who do you got starting at quarterback this week?
Justin Herbert versus the Raiders last year, QB3 versus them. And yeah, I said pick him up. You better pick him up and play him. Start him this week, Justin Herbert. Sitting, you got Tua. His name's Pua. I don't know what's going on over there. Last year, he's pretty good, fantasy QB. But now, I'm fading him. Gonzalez is going to lock up Tyreek. Or Waddle, and Tyreek's going to throw his shoulder pads off like Antonio Brown and leave the game. So it's going to be something like that happening. So definitely sit Tua.
Next, we're going to running back. So starting running back, I got Hall versus Buffalo. Breece Hall had an absolute killer of a game. I was not expecting that, considering Aaron Rodgers is there no more. Hall's the guy. I mean, Braylon Allen's still there, but Braylon Allen wasn't really a big factor into Breece Hall's production. They're playing against Buffalo that just gave up like 40 points on Sunday Night Football. It's Justin Fields and Breece Hall's offense at this point. So I really like him this week. I think he's going to be really good in PPR formats. So he's a definite start. I'm sitting Pacheco against Philly, kind of for the same reasons I said Patrick Mahomes. Philadelphia has a really good defense. Mind you, they didn't have Jalen Carter because he decided to hawk Tua all over Dak Prescott before the game started. So I think that game would have been a lot different if Jalen Carter was there to stop the run. But with Jalen Carter coming back, that game was the only suspension he got and the fine. Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, both those guys are going to get eaten up, so I don't really like them this week. X, you got starting at running back this week.
Running back, starting Javonte Williams against the New York Giants for the same reason that you got to start Dak Prescott. Giants suck. Javonte Williams, his points only got saved by his 2 touchdowns, really, but I think he'll have a good game. You're going to sit Eckler against Green Bay. Green Bay showed that they are a dominant defense now with Parsons. Parsons was in there doing work, even with his supposed injury. So Eckler's not going to get much going, and neither are, honestly, any of the Commanders running.
Kolby, who you got starting at running back this week?
So I got one of my favorite running backs. He did have a little bit down week, but Chase Brown versus Jacksonville. People run all over Jacksonville, and I cannot wait to watch Chase Brown and the Bengals absolutely destroy them. Then I got Kenneth Walker, the 1B in Seattle. Pretty straightforward. Maybe losing a starting spot, maybe injured. Nobody knows, but I'm playing Pittsburgh, so I'd probably not play him.
All right. Starting receiver, I got Marvin Harrison versus Carolina. Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray got together. I really like his matchup this week. He's a definite start. Sitting, I got Cooper Kupp at Pittsburgh. Cooper Kupp looked horrendous. I don't trust him. Don't trust Sam Darnold. Pittsburgh is going to have a bounce back week in their defense. Don't do it. X, who are you starting at receiver?
Receiver, I'm starting Tyreek Hill. I think this is going to be his bounce back game. I think he needs to kind of get his trade capital up a little bit. and I think that he'll be able to do it against New England, in my opinion. And I think they'll work it out there, in my opinion. I think they will. Next, you're going to be sitting old Scary Terry against Green Bay. That Green Bay defense is just really good. I don't see McLaren having any more success going, especially against that good of a Green Bay defense. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be pressured way too much to where Scary Terry's routes aren't going to be able to develop, and you're not going to get a lot of production out of them.
All right, Kolby, who you got starting at receiver?
All right, I got Jerry Jeudy versus the Ravens. We just saw Keon Coleman have an absolute destroying game against them, like 108 yards, bunch of receptions. Again, Browns negative game script. Flacco is going to be tossing that ball everywhere, trying to score some touchdowns. So I'm looking for him to get some receptions, some receiving yards, maybe a touchdown, but I think he's going to have a lot of receptions, a lot of yards. Then I'm sitting Calvin Ridley against the Rams. The front is just insane. Don't know if they're going to give Cam Ward time to really throw the ball where Calvin Ridley excels, and that's deep balls. So, I'd probably have a few other options over Ridley.
And he also needs to be able to catch the ball, and he has better fingers. That's CeeDee Lamb Jr. right there.
I agree.
All right, next we're going to tight end. So this week I got Dallas Goedert at Kansas City. Jalen Hurts likes to throw the ball to Goddard. He wasn't really throwing to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. And unless your name's Saquon Barkley, those are the two guys that are getting offense production besides Jalen running the ball. Against Kansas City, Super Bowl rematch, I think he has a good week. You're sitting Cade Otton against Houston. Cade Otton dropped the ball, didn't get a lot of targets. Baker was working behind the whole game and somehow figured it out at the end. I just don't like his matchup. I think Ibuka and Mike Evans are the guys there to target. X, who you starting at tight end this week?
Tight end, I'm starting the boy Tyler Warren going against Denver. Denver has obviously that good defense. They're going to do a lot of packages to where Daniel Jones is going to get pressured a lot. And in the game, even against Miami, when he was getting pressured a lot, he would either dump it down to Jonathan Taylor or dump it down to Warren. They tried to get Warren very active in the early game, and I don't expect that to stop anytime soon. Tyler Warren is a very, very good tight end. I'm sitting Brock Bowers against the Chargers. The Chargers looked electric out there. And even though Las Vegas, in my opinion, had a very good game, I just don't think I understand that Brock Bowers does have a little bit of an injury, but if he does play, I think, in my opinion, they're going to limit him to keep him healthy, since with the team that they do have a bit of a chance.
Kolby, who you got starting at tight end this week?
Starting at tight end, I got Sam Laporta against the Bears. You know, kind of seeing a little bit of a shift we kind of talked about earlier. Maybe they'll be going back, making a balance between Ben Johnson and the new coordinator now, but they started using Laporta last week a little bit more than they did last year. And, he had a great rookie season, so maybe they're trying to capitalize off that. And I'm sitting Colston Loveland against Detroit. It's kind of weird. They're running back and forth between Kmet and Loveland, and it's kind of disappointing. I really wish Loveland had that true tight end one type of position for them, and it seems like they're kind of just having that Ben Johnson system, not really wanting to throw it to the tight end, kind of like Laporta last year. He has some touchdowns, but not a lot of production.
All right, next we're going to get into defense. So this week I'm starting Pittsburgh versus Seattle. Sam Darnold looked horrible. Sam Darnold can outrun the ball, so I think Pittsburgh is going to be a little bit better this week. This is going to be their bounce back week, and they're going to show you why they're a top 5 defense. You're sitting Cleveland D at Baltimore. Even though I like Myles Garrett, and he's probably the best defensive end in football, Lamar is historically known to light up Cleveland. Every single time he plays them, he scores 25-plus fantasy points. So sit him, something worth the risk. Wait for a better matchup, and honestly, you should just stay away from Cleveland in general. X, who you starting at defense this week?
Defense, I'm starting Denver against Indianapolis. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to repeat what happened, and I think Denver is kind of just going to have their way with Indianapolis. So I think you're going to get a lot of good points there, a lot of points on sacks, probably a lot of points on interceptions as well. I'm sitting Kansas City against Philadelphia. Philadelphia is just too explosive of an offense. They have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of ways to beat you, both in the run and in the pass. So whether you're stacking the box, then they'll just throw deep to A.J. Brown. If you're doing your double high safeties, then you're going to leave it open for the 2K King to just run all over you. So, not a good matchup this week.
Kolby, who you got starting at defense this week?
At starting New England versus the Miami Dolphins, kind of going off
Good start.
Tua, see if keeps having a bad start or not. They're actually pretty low rostered, so maybe a pretty easy pickup after waivers run, not to burn your priority or your fab. And I'm sitting Washington versus Green Bay. So you can see Green Bay, their powerful offense. Jordan Love is the perfect director of that offense, and a lot of high things going on for them for this year.
All right, let's get into it. So we got week 2 football bets. We're going to go money line, total points, or over under, and we're going to do the spread. So we got Washington Commanders at Green Bay Packers, Thursday Night Football in Lambeau. Packers are favored by -3.5. The money line is Packers at -190, Commanders at +160. The total's 47.5. I'm going to take under on the total. I'm going to take Packers money line, and I'm going to go Packers on the spread at -3.5. X, what do you got on that?
I agree with all of that, honestly.
Kolby?
I'm gonna take the over. I feel like we're always gonna have that one game where it's just a shootout. And I know the Packers did hold the Lions, but Commanders, they're looking a little scary, and Bill's looking scary too, the running back. So I'm gonna take the over. I am gonna take the Packers on the money line, and I am gonna take the Packers to spread.
All right. Next, we got Jacksonville Jaguars at Cincinnati Bengals. This is in Cincinnati, Sunday morning, first game. The Bengals are favored by 3.5. The money line is the Bengals at -185, and the total's 50.5 points. So for this game, I'm taking Bengals with the spread. So Bengals money line, but the total of 50.5, I'm going to go under because I can't trust Trevor Lawrence. X, what do you got?
Ooh. I will definitely take the Bengals. 50 total. Yeah, definitely under. Definitely under.
Kolby?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bengals. I'm gonna take the under. And what was the spread again? 3.5.
-3.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll cover the spread.
All right. Next game, we got Buffalo Bills -7.5 at New York Jets. The total's 45.5. Well, either way, I'm for sure taking the Bills money line. I don't know about the spread because those are always trap games. So I think I'd probably take the plus or just stay away from it. But the total at 45.5, I think I'm going to go over just because Josh Allen. X?
Definitely going the Bills. You know what? I'm gonna have faith, and Colby's convinced me. I'm gonna have faith in Justin Fields here. I'm gonna go over. Go over on that total.
Good choice.
Kolby?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills. I'm gonna take the over, and I do agree the spread's a little trappy, but it's Josh Allen. I think
Oh yeah.
they might pull away at the end.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we got Seattle at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's favored by -2.5. The total's 40.5. Ooh, so I think I am going to take the Steelers at -2.5, but I think the total I'm going to go under just because I don't know if we can see Aaron Rodgers have another game like that, and I don't trust Seattle, and Seattle has a good defense. X, what do you got?
I'm gonna take the Steelers. Honestly, I really want to go over on it, but I don't trust Sam Darnold. I don't trust Sam Darnold to get those points. Fuck it, boys. We're going over. Let's go.
Kolby, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Steelers. I'm gonna take the over as well. It's about 20 points per team, 3
Yeah.
touchdowns each with a couple
21,
field goals
21.
in there.
Game
So
will probably be
I'm
like
gonna
21,
take the
23.
over.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we got the Los Angeles Rams favored by 5.5 against at
Yeah.
Tennessee. The total's 41.5. After what I saw against Houston, I think I'm going to take the under on that because I don't trust Tennessee to score, and I don't think Matt Stafford is quite ready into NFL game shape quite yet. I think you need to give him a couple more weeks. But the spread at -5.5, I think that's a trap too. I think I'm going to take the plus money on that because I think it might be like a field goal. X, who do you got?
I agree with you.
Kolby?
I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna take the under, and I'll take the spread again.
All right. Let me move this up here. Next, we got San Francisco -7.5 favorites at New Orleans. The total's 43.5. So I'm going to take the under just because we don't know what's going on Brock Purdy as of today, filming on Tuesday, September 9th. Got to say that because it can change by the time the games happen. But the spread at -7.5, I think I'll still take that even if Mac Jones is there, just because Christian McCaffrey is playing.
Really?
And I do believe Bricky's still there. Yeah, Saints aren't very good, man. So
No, they're not.
I have faith that Robert Saleh's defense will be able to handle it. So I'm taking the -7.5 spread and the under on the total points. X, what do you got?
I'm definitely going to take the Niners, even if Purdy's hurt. Saints are garbage. Definitely under though, for sure.
Colby?
So this is my upset for the week. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm going to take the
No way.
49ers.
Oh,
49ers, the under, and not taking the spread.
I'm all for triggering Rod's delusion, but not on that one. Not on that one.
Next, no, not in that game. All right, next we got Chicago Bears at Detroit Lions. Lions are favored by 5.5. The total's 47.5 points. So obviously, like, you're taking the money line on the Lions. I like Lions at -5.5. I think they could have a bounce back week. Chicago Bears did not look good by any means. So I think Detroit's going to be able to handle that. But the total at 47.5, I think I'm going to go under just because I don't know what kind of Caleb's going to show up. So I think for me, I'm going to take the under on that. X, what do you got?
I agree with you 100%.
Colby?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lions, but I'm going to take the over. I mean, the Bears,
What?
again, like you kind of said, Caleb, the Bears did put up 20-plus points on that Vikings defense, so I expect them to do it possibly again against the Lions, and the Lions keep up with them. So it's going to be a 28, 24, 30, 35, 24 game, something like that.
All right. Next, we got New York Giants at Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are only favored by -3.5 points, which I think is kind of wild. Russell Wilson is the quarterback there and starting. Money lines favored the Cowboys by -250. The total's 44.5. Yeah, see, this is a hard one. I would stay away from the total. I'm taking Cowboys for sure at the spread and the money line.
Yep.
But the total, I'm going to say under only because I don't know. It's a divisional game. You never know. Those are trap games. We all know that.
Yeah.
But can can New York score? I think that's the big thing, and I don't know if they can. So I think that's why I'm taking the under on that. X?
Definitely going to go Cowboys. I'm going to run with it because my gut's telling me, dude, I'm going to say it's an over.
Colby?
Cowboys under, cover spread.
All right, next we got New England Patriots at Miami. Miami's only favored by -1.5. The total's 44.5. I'm actually taking Patriots in this game. After watching that atrocious defense by Miami and their offensive woes, I think Vrabel gets it done. He's going to coach his team up. Jake May's going to have a bounce back week. So I think +1.5 on New England all day long. I like Patriots at the money line at +110. But the total, I'm going to go under just because I can't trust Miami right now.
Yep, I agree 100%.
You agree, X?
Yep.
Colby?
I'm going to take the Dolphins. I'm going to take the under. Sorry, not the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Patriots in case Sean Booty.
I was like, what?
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under.
Next, we got Cleveland at Baltimore. Baltimore's favored by -12.5. And rightfully so. The total's 44.5 points. You know, I'm for sure taking Baltimore at the spread. I'm taking Ravens for the money line. The total, I'm going to go over, but let me explain. And I kind of did this earlier. I think Lamar Jackson's absolutely just going to pop off like he did this past week against the Bills, who honestly have a pretty decent defense. Cleveland does have a decent defense with Myles Garrett, but I think just Lamar has his number, so I think it goes over. And I do think Cleveland could score because Ravens have shown after Sunday Night Football that they can be scored on. So I'm going to go over on that. X?
Definitely gonna go Baltimore. Agree with money line, but that total, no, definitely under. Definitely under.
Colby?
Ravens over and not to cover the spread though. I think it's gonna be close.
All right. A couple more games here. So we got Carolina at Arizona. Arizona's favored by -6.5. Cardinals money line's at -290, and the total's 44.5. So I think Arizona covers the spread, and I'm obviously taking money line of Cardinals, but I'm taking the under only because I don't know if I can trust Bryce Young to get it done with Carolina against a strong Arizona defense. X, what do you got?
I'm actually gonna go Carolina in this one. Definitely gonna go under though.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Colby?
I'm going to take the Cardinals. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to expect a lot of running from both teams.
That's fair. Next, we got Denver, favored by 2.5 at Indianapolis. Broncos -135 money line. Total points 42.5. I'm going to take the under. I'll tell you that right now, just because Denver has a good defense, and I don't think Daniel Jones reproduces what he did last week. The spread, I think I can take Broncos at -3, or get to score a field goal to beat the Colts. So I think I'm going to do that. X, what do you got?
Definitely go Denver for sure. Definitely under for sure.
Kolby?
Take the Broncos, Bo Nix bounce back game, and I'm gonna take the over. Danny Dimes gonna chunk it around, just like. Actually, no, I'm gonna change. I don't know why I was thinking that. It's gonna be under. I forgot the Broncos defense,
Yeah.
absolutely crazy good.
Yeah.
Right. Next, we got Eagles favored by only 1.5 at Kansas City.
Wow.
Ooh, Kansas City at a home game. Total's 46.5. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm taking the under on that. And I'm going to take Eagles spread. I just think Eagles is a more healthy team right now. So that's the only reason why. X?
Definitely Eagles, but I'm actually going to go over on it.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Kolby?
Okay. Well, this is the actual upset of the week I've been waiting to talk about. The Chiefs are going to beat the Eagles. It's going to be this whole big ordeal.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs are back. The dynasty is back. It's going to be the Chiefs over the Eagles, and it's going to be a shootout. Don't know who it's going to be, if it's going to be the rookie, even though he's banged up for the Chiefs, but someone's going to have a huge, crazy game for the Chiefs, and yeah, they're going to upset the Eagles.
What about the total? Over?
Over.
Okay. Next game, Sunday Night Football, I believe. Yep. Sunday Night Football. Oh, why? They should have picked a better game.
Yeah.
So you got Atlanta at Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by only 4.5 points. And so the money line is Vikings at minus 210. I'm taking that. The total is 45.5. I think the Vikings can get the spread at minus 4.5. The total at 45.5. I'm going to take the under only because JJ only got it going in the fourth quarter. It is at home in the Dome, but I don't know if I could trust Michael Penix, and especially if Drake London is not playing. I don't really know if he's going to turn to Kyle Pitts or Bijan, but I don't know if that's enough to get it done by a really good, stout Vikings defense. So, X, what do you got?
I agree 100% with you.
Kolby?
Yep. 100% agree with you.
Easy.
Yep.
Easy. All right. Next, we got 2 Monday night games. That's exciting. That's what we've been waiting for. So we got Tampa Bay at Houston. Houston's favored by minus 1.5. So I'm taking the Bucks at plus 1.5. I'll tell you that right now. I think Baker Mayfield has a bounce back game. Texans didn't look very good against the Rams, against this Matthew Stafford that's banged up. The total is 42.5, and I think it goes over because I think Baker's going to just sling the ball, and I think Texans can score like 2 touchdowns. So that's where I'm at with it. X?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Kolby?
I can't believe the Texans are favored. Taking the Bucks for sure. And the over.
All right. Last game, we got Monday night, or the Super Monday night game. The first one's at 4 p.m. The next one is at 7 p.m. Pacific. We got the Chargers favored by 3.5 at the Las Vegas Raiders. Divisional game, can be a trap game, but I have faith in Jim Harbaugh. His team looked really good last week in Brazil. I'm taking that minus 3.5 spread all day. Chargers money line. Total's 45.5.
Under.
If Brock Bowers is playing, I'm saying it's going to go over.
I agree with you, but it's definitely going to be under.
Kolby?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to take the over. Gino's going to swing the ball.
And I think Herbie's going to be slinging the ball too, like he did last week.
Start of the week, by the way. Don't forget. Start of the week. Don't forget.
So that was our week 2 football bets. You know, I'm not going to lie. Last week was pretty rough. I thought I had a nice 12-leg parlay ready to cook, and, the Chiefs ruined it by game 2. So, that's football for you. But next, we got some NFL football news. So last week, obviously, we talked about Micah. That was the biggest thing kind of leading up into the season. Micah did really well on his limited snaps with the Packers, so I expected for him to do very well with that. I want to say, fucking finally, Jake Moody was waived by the 49ers. I am so happy as a Niners fan. That guy was so bad. He was so atrocious, and the fact that they had no competition with him in the preseason is wild. The fact that his only competition was an old man, Greg Joseph, before the preseason, and they didn't bring anybody, wild. But they got rid of him. They signed Eddie, and we'll see what happens. And Bigsby was traded to the Eagles. And, I mean, we don't really know what kind of role he has there quite yet because A.J. Dillon is the backup there. But it could be a nice little stash for, not really for fantasy purposes, but more for the Eagles in case they need that depth if A.J. Dillon gets hurt, which is prone to getting injured, or if Saquon gets hurt, which he has also been injured as well. So next, we're going to get into our hot takes. This is going to be a little different because you're going to see like a shift, and there's going to be bright in my background. And so H came on. He's our resident Browns fan. I kind of talked about him before the show started. He and I filmed on Monday to insert into the episode. He couldn't come on today to do it. So he has a Shedeur Sanders and a Caleb Williams hot take and a BTJ hot take. But first, I'm going to allow Kolby to go on. Kolby is our our OG hot take master here from last season. That's how he first got to start on the show, by giving us some hot takes. So before I let H take the floor, I'm going to allow Kolby to take the floor and give us some hot takes for the week. Kolby, what do you got?
So, my one primary hot take is going to be my boy Justin Fields. Yes, I let social media and the media talk me out of it, but all preseason, you can ask these two guys. I was all for Justin Fields. He can throw the ball. Looks like he can throw the ball. He can run the ball. Literally had the whole entire Steelers defense looking the other way as he was just trotting into the end zone on the other side. This guy is going to keep going, keep dominating. Hopefully, he continues that consistency. And in the preseason, we're talking about him. We said, man, look at his schedule. He plays the Steelers. Oh, drops 32 points. Oh, top 5 QB for that week against the Steelers. Now he has Buffalo Bills. Lamar just ran a track event against them. He's going to do the same exact thing. And they may not win like last week, but he's going to keep doing what he's doing, and make sure you pick him up, because you don't pick him up, someone else is, and they're going to play him against you. He's going to beat you, and you're going to be mad that you didn't listen to me. So I say pick Justin Fields up, and never know what happens.
Yeah, so Kolby had him ranked 13 in our draft kit, and X and I did not rank him. I will say, as someone who watched him play, he did very good. I will give him that. He did well against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. He's also very familiar with Pittsburgh, being playing there last year, just as Aaron Rodgers is very familiar with the Jets. So I don't know if that's a one-off, but not a bad hot take, especially in a super flex league, or just you need a guy who got hurt, or is it going to get hurt, or you said, hey, I'm going to draft Sam Darnold and think Sam Darnold was going to be the guy, because he ain't. So might not be a bad pickup, even though X and I probably horribly disagree with that. But I mean, hey, it's just one of those things. Welcome to fantasy. Rushing quarterback with a lot of upside. Can't really beat it. So anything else?
Bijan is still terrible.
That's your hot take. That's your hot take. Bijan's
still terrible. You take away his 59-yard catch for a touchdown. He did nothing. He's still awful. He's still awful.
Let me look him up. Let me look him up for you. So
no, I can already tell you.
He has 12 attempts for 24 yards.
Mm-hmm.
For six receptions, 7 targets on 100 yards. So for PPR, he's great. And a touchdown. So he had 24.40 points. But as a running back in standard league, technically, I guess
he's absolute garbage. He's garbage. He's garbage.
12.4 points, but yeah, I know X has a vendetta against Bijan. He turned all his hate from Anthony Richardson into this guy. So
he's still garbage. He's a polished Breece Hall. And what's Breece Hall? A turd. What does that make him? A polished turd. They're both turds. They're still both turds, no matter how you dress them up.
Breece Hall did really well last week, and I think he's going to do really well this week too. So
yeah, okay.
Next, we got our boy H. He's our resident Browns fan. He has a Shedeur Sanders take, a Caleb Williams take, and a BTJ take. Let's take it away. You're going to see a hard transition here. So for our next segment, we have a community member who is a Browns fan. So you don't really see many of those out these days. So our boy H here, that's how he prefers to be called by, he has a Browns take. He's got some NFL takes and maybe some fantasy football takes. So H, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor, man. Give me your biggest Brown take.
Yeah, I mean, not really a take. It's just fact. All right. Shedeur Sanders is a top 12 quarterback in the NFL when he gets the chance to start. It's just plain and simple.
That's wild.
It's plain and simple. It's plain and simple. The stats and everything in college, it all proves this point. Put the risk up. You already know the deal. All right? So let's break it down. Easy money. So let's look at all the quarterbacks that we have in the NFL. I'm going to list off every single quarterback that Shedeur Sanders is better than, and he hasn't even played a game. Sam Darnold.
Oh, my God.
Brock Purdy, Russell Wilson, Spencer Rattler, J.J. McCarthy, Dak, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Kyler Murray, Penix, Cam Ward, who should have never gone first round, but we'll talk about that in a second. Rodgers, Fields, May, Tua, Geno, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, and finally C.J. Stroud.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Hold on. I'm gonna have to interrupt here. Hold on.
Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
You're talking about right now, or are you talking about career? You're talking about right now, right? Like today.
I'm talking about if Shedeur Sanders gets in right now, he's better than all those people.
Them today, right? Not like their careers, but like them
Yeah,
today.
them today. Because I know
So
Russ
did you
had a
see
good
Daniel
career.
Jones? Did you just see Daniel Jones absolutely light up the Miami Dolphins this week?
I did in fact see that, but what has he done in his career besides that one game? He took
But
the
we're talking about
Giants to
today.
we took the Giants to the playoffs once. Like, he's not good. He's not good. He's horrible.
All right.
He's horrible.
All right.
Just wait. Come week 2,
okay.
you're gonna be forgetting about Daniel Jones. This is a fluke game. He had a good game. It's over for him in the next week. But let's continue with the real topic at hand.
Okay,
All
go
right.
ahead.
There's a group of players that I think he fits in perfectly with, and those are Baker, Goff, Love, Nix, and Stafford. He fits right in that area. I left off the top names like Hurts and Allen and all those people because they're above him. I can remove my bias. But that group of players, given some time too, when he develops, he can easily exceed those guys. 100%. And how do we know this? I'm so glad that you asked. Let's look at the stats. Let's just look at the stats. The stats never lie. All right. Who was the leading person in college in completion percentage? Led the nation. I'll wait. Shedeur Sanders. 70 to 74%. He just dials it up. And guess what? He did all that offensive work with probably the worst offensive line in Colorado. Horrible. That's also why he got a bad rap for holding on to the ball. He does hold on to the ball a little bit, but he had to scramble to make plays, and his low line was horrible. And he still found a way to get it done. Now, let's dive into the meat of the topic, all right? Meat of the topic. He hasn't played, all right? But we've seen him in the preseason, okay? Let's dive into the first preseason game when he played against Carolina. Amazing performance. Absolutely amazing performance. Led multiple scoring drives. He was absolutely dominant. And that team that the Browns put out was filled with number 2 and number 3 offensive linemen, okay? We're going to dive kind of back into that in a second, all right? When he had the good weapons around him, he excelled. You saw it on the Carolina game. You legitimately saw it. There's no denying it that he balled out. Yes, it is the preseason and it is the Panthers. I get it. However, the Panthers ran their number ones on both sides of the ball. They ran their offense and they ran their defense. So Shedeur already got a taste of an NFL defense that he carved. He carved them. He picked them apart. He dotted people up. He was just slinging. He was throwing a mean ball. He was accurate, and you saw that he was mobile. There was a little knock on him that he wasn't mobile, but you saw it. He was mobile. He was able to scramble out, pick up a 15-yard first down on 3rd and 9. You look at the tape. The tape doesn't lie. All right? Let's talk about the second preseason game because that's obviously probably what you're thinking, right? He didn't look great. Well, guess what? There's reasons behind that why he didn't look good, all right? His whole offensive line and the receivers he played with, that even down to the tight end, were all 4th and 5th stringers. And how do we know this? Look at who the Browns waived on Sunday after the game. His entire offensive line, both of his wide receivers, and his tight end. The only person that didn't get waived in that was Gage LeVarden, and he actually made the team. That was it. Everybody else, see you later, right? And that's important because when he played with the people that are really valuable to the team, and I'm not saying that 2s and 3s are valuable, but they're a lot better than 4th stringers or people from the UFL or XFL that are coming in trying to barely make a team. So when he was given the proper tools to succeed, he did. So how do we know that he's going to be top 12? I'm so glad that you asked there, Rod. I'm going to tell you, all right? Because the offensive line that the Browns have, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's filled with all pros. Like, they're a better offensive line. Joel Bitonio is a 7-time All-Pro. Wyatt Teller, he's a 3-time All-Pro. Ethan, he's also a Pro Bowler. That offensive line is good. And even yesterday, for the Browns and Bengals game, you saw them protect Joe Flacco, a 41-year-old man, was protected. He got sacked one time. One time. That was it. All right. And with the weapons behind Shedeur and the offensive line and all the rookies, because the Browns are a young team now. They're looking to build to the future. And with guys like Njoku, who's already been dominant in the league, Harold Fannin, you literally just saw it the other day when he was getting dotted up by Flacco. He was great. Was the top reception at Bowling Green, and he led the FBS in receptions. Like, he's a goat. He's just a dog. All right. And that's what the Browns are. They're just dogs. All right. Isaiah Bond, speed demon. All right. There you go. Jerry Jeudy, Quinshawn Judkins, Dylan Sampson, young team with a good offensive line. Give Shedeur the chance. Top 12. Easily. Easily. It's just not even a debate.
So I have a couple questions. So
Let it
first
rip.
off, yeah, we have a couple things to get into here. So one, thank you for coming prepared. Thank you for bringing stats. Thank you
Go
for
ahead.
having all your stuff. But what I want to say, or what I'm going to say, is so Joe Flacco is the 1. You got Dylan Gabriel at 2, and you got Shedeur at the 3.
Yes.
We don't know if Deshaun's even coming back this year or not.
He's
probably
done.
not.
He's gonna get cut.
Yeah.
He's just finishing the
No, he's
rehab.
not
We're
getting
gonna
cut.
we're gonna cut him, bro. He's done. He's
There's
not
no way.
taking another
There's no way.
snap for the Browns.
But so for Shedeur to get on the field, it's going to have to take an injury or Flacco to play bad, and it's going to take either another injury or Dylan Gabriel to play bad.
Yes,
because I don't think there's any denying. Like I will agree that I think Shedeur is better than Dylan Gabriel. I don't think that's even a discussion. However, the Browns see it otherwise, and Dylan Gabriel actually kind of balled out in preseason game 4 was it? So
it was the second preseason opportunity, but I can touch into that if you want me to.
With everything that's said and done, Dylan Gabriel's still ahead of him on the depth chart. So is Shedeur even going to get an opportunity this year to even showcase his skills? And if so, is it going to be at the end of the year?
It's going to be at the end of the year. The way that it's going to work is the Browns have the second toughest schedule in the NFL. You can look it up. They just do. Their first 5 games, we play next, it's the Ravens, then the Packers, then the Lions. Like, it's rough sledding. I'm going to assume that we're going to go 0-4. And at that point, there's no sense in playing Joe Flacco for the future because he's not the future of the team. When that's the case, they'll probably throw in Dylan Gabriel just because on the depth chart, he is the 2. However, he's going to get exposed. He got exposed when he played Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. He did not look good at all. He looked horrible. And under the lights, under the big situations, he did not look good. And even when he played in the first preseason game, he threw a pick 6 and he fumbled. It's not like his preseason was so much better than Shedeur's. Like, he was lighting it up, throwing for 330 and 3. Like, he wasn't that guy. Like, yes, he did very well against the Rams, and I have to say he did look good. But he also was running with the 2s and the 3s who Shedeur ran with. And also when Dylan Gabriel played and started that other game, he also had the 2s and 3s. He had them both times, and he looked worse. So on Shedeur, he looked good with the 2s and the 3s, got the 4s and the 5s, and looked bad. Gabriel looked bad with the 2s and the 3s, and then looked good with the 2s and the 3s the next game. But it wasn't like, oh, he was just lighting it up. So when the Browns learn, and that's why Andrew Berry made the call to go get Shedeur. It wasn't like, oh, hey, like, we really want to get on Gabriel. No, Andrew Berry was like, we need to get this guy. Pick up the phone, call him, because this will be our guy. Like, the hunt's over. The 40 quarterback thing, it's over. All right. Once Shedeur gets in, it's wraps.
Well, just to add, I will say that I do think Shedeur was my second QB that should have came off the board. I think, who was it? Jackson Dark that came out second. from New York because New York traded up for
Yes.
him.
Mhm.
But I know you had mentioned Cam Ward. I don't think you got into that. Do you want to talk about that? Why you think he should have been over Cam Ward?
But I think what I said at the beginning, it explains it. But in Miami, Cam Ward was good. Yes, I will agree that Cam Ward did look good, and the tape was good. But he is not ready for the NFL at all. His reads and the things that he sees on the field are horrible. If you looked in that Denver and Tennessee game, the throws that he made and his pocket awareness was horrible. On the ending drive that they had to go down and potentially score, maybe I don't know if they would have hit the 2-point conversion to tie up the game. There's a guy coming off the edge and he's just standing there and gets blown up. Like, what are you doing? Look around. Stay in the field. And that's the one thing that Shedeur has is pocket presence. You can look at the tape at Colorado, and I think a lot of his pocket awareness is because their offensive line was so bad. So he had to be like, oh my gosh, I'm getting rushed. I got to get this ball out. I got to figure out the play, or I got to understand this play's broken. I got to make something out of it. Cam Ward didn't have that. He had a pretty decent offensive line, and that's why Miami looked good, and they had better weapons. Like, yes, Colorado had Travis Hunter, but I mean, that's all that they really had. Like, and Shedeur was still able to make stuff work. So I think that Shedeur should have been the consensus 1-1. I think he should have gone to the Titans.
So I actually had Cam Ward. So in 2024, if Cam Ward was to declare for the draft, I had him as the 7th best ranked quarterback, and 6 were taken in the first round that draft. I think the last one was Michael Penix, I believe. That's correct.
Yes.
So
that was because of the Falcons traded up.
Right. After acquiring Kirk Cousins, which is still wild to me. But
Yeah.
that's not why we're here. Just with Cam Ward. So I think he did the smart thing by waiting another year. He had another good year, got drafted number 1. Because Shedeur was supposedly going to be the consensus number 1 pick. That was what was going into the season. I mean, I guess I'll just ask you this since you're a Browns fan. Do you think the league kind of like blackballed him, and you think that's why he went so low? Because to me, I think he truly should have went number 2. I don't know where. I thought New York should have grabbed him. So I think that would have made more sense.
I was stunned, honestly, that he didn't get drafted in the first round. And then when the Giants moved up to get Dart, I was very surprised about that. I also thought that the Saints would go after him. I thought that the Steelers would go after him. I thought that I thought even the Jets might even throw in something because, I mean, Fields looked good yesterday, but as of all that other time, it was kind of like, what the heck is he? Like, who is this guy? He didn't really show a whole lot on tape. He looked decent at Chicago, but for everybody else, he was just all right. Wasn't great. But I was surprised that he fell that low. And even when the Browns drafted Gabriel, I was extremely shocked because he's out there. Go get him. You can't tell me that Dylan Gabriel's tape looked better than Sanders. There's just no way. The only thing that could possibly make sense in that scenario is that Gabriel went to Oregon, and that was it. The name of the school. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was some talk with, hey, don't pick this guy. We're trying to make an example of him. But that's why Andrew Berry picked up the phone and traded back up into the 5th round and say, we can't let this guy slide. He's just way too valuable, too much of an asset for the team that we are building for the future.
Well, I don't think it's a talent thing. That's what I was saying. I think I think he got blackballed. I mean, whether that was, I don't think it was because of him. I think it was because of his dad. Even though his dad's a Hall of Famer, all-time great. You know, I don't know about his coaching, but as far as a player, he was great. He is a little out there, and he likes to speak his mind. But I wonder if Dion being involved is kind of what set up his sons to not. Well, one of them got drafted, and one of them didn't. And then now the other one's not even on the team, from what I remember. So,
well, Shiloh got waived. He
Well, he
punched
punched
some
someone,
guy.
but I don't blame him at all either, though.
Mm-mm.
So for what had happened, I saw the clip and I was like, I mean, kind of the other guy kind of deserved it. It is what it is. He would have done good in Tampa. So, but all right. Well, that being said, that's an interesting hot take. I think we'll have to wait till the end of the year to see. But if Shedeur is your starting quarterback next year, maybe we'll see it more.
So after week 13, when the Browns play the 49ers, I think at that point, that'll be Dylan Gabriel's like, all right, we've seen enough. See you later, bud. They're gonna let the rest of the season play out with Shedeur, and they'll very quickly realize, oh my gosh, this is our guy. Like we're already set for next year. We got 2 first rounders next year. We can get a wide receiver, get more depth. We can build up that offensive line even more than what it already is. And I mean, future looks great for the Browns. I'm happy where we're at.
I wish I could agree with you on that. I just I think one of the biggest things that I've learned from watching a lot of football is that sometimes it doesn't matter how talented your team is. You can, when it comes to upper management and ownership, I think that's where a lot of these teams fail. I mean, good example is the Jets,
Yeah.
but I mean, honestly, your owner too. No offense to your owner, but
No,
you know,
Jimmy Haslam was horrible.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's definitely an interesting take.
I told you I had the information. The truth had to come out. And I was just
I
the
don't know
guy to
about
do
all
it.
that. That's wild. That's wild. That's a wild take. All right. Let's get into your let's do an NFL take before we get into your fantasy takes.
All right.
Give me an NFL take.
NFL take, Caleb Williams, fraud. The Bears, frauds.
What?
They are not doing it this year. Caleb Williams should have never gone as the one. It should have always been Jaden Daniels. Caleb Williams looks horrible in college. I have no idea how he decided and policed the entire NFL to just be the consensus 1-1. He just cashed in the biggest check. He fooled everybody. I don't know how he did it. He just, little voodoo magic. I don't know how he did it, but Jaden Daniels was way over him. And you can even see it in the NFL. Jaden Daniels legitimately took the Redskins or the Commanders, whatever you want to say, took them literally to the championship game, the NFC championship game, his rookie year. Like, what did Caleb Williams do?
That didn't make playoffs, but I mean, I think so. Full transparency, we're filming this on a Monday, which the Monday night game has not happened yet, so things can change very quickly. From this,
I could eat
take,
my words in less than 5 hours or less than 4 hours.
like 3 hours, brother.
Yeah.
Almost 3.5 hours. I will say this. I think we're going to see what Ben Johnson has for Caleb and DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore and Rome. They have the team set up to do well. It's just really going to depend on, what's going to happen. The Detroit Lions look terrible without Ben Johnson yesterday against the Packers. Obviously, Packers have Micah Parsons. But calling him a fraud, that's wild. I think it's still too early for me. I mean, I like Caleb more than I like Michael Penix. I like Caleb probably more than I like JJ McCarthy for right now.
Right now, with that game's today.
Right, I know.
That game's coming on today.
I don't know. That's pretty wild.
That could be something. Is Caleb or JJ? I'm low-key taking JJ tonight.
You're taking well, I think the Vikings just have a better team, but we'll see how much Ben Johnson's influence can change things. It might not be this year. It might be another year. I don't know. But you could definitely see how bad the Lions played without him there. So I am very interested to see what the Bears can do. I will say there is a lot of Bears fans. There are some Bears fans that watch the program. Shout out to my boy Enoch and my boy Russ. But I don't know. I mean,
I gotta let them know. I can't let these guys hide in lies.
And that's fair. My wife's a Packers fan and she hates the Bears, but I don't know. I guess a third party in this, because I don't really care. That's not my division. But I think the Bears can be very good this year. So
I think they can be better if they had a different quarterback. I think that they have the right offensive mind with Ben Johnson. I think Swift's all right. He's manageable. I do really like DJ Moore, but I just don't trust Caleb Williams at all.
Well, we will see in about 3 hours, and
We'll
by the
see
time this
about
comes
3
out, it'll be
hours.
a day past. We'll see what happens.
Might have to come back on and revisit.
Yeah, we might have to revisit next week. And you're gonna be like, I completely disregard everything I just said. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do that this week, anyways. 'Cause I said to sit Patrick Mahomes, and he went off, and that was wild. But so last, we're gonna get into your fantasy football hot takes or hot take, whichever you want to share. What do you got?
This fantasy football take is Brian Thomas Jr. Not it. He should have never been in your draft as a top wide receiver. He is not that good. And especially with Travis Hunter being in the mix and even Trevor Lawrence coming back, not good. When BTJ went off, that was all when he was hurt and Jones came in to basically get them through the rest of the season so they could just get a high draft pick. And that's when he started going off. That's the only person they had. So he was just, you know what? I'm going to just throw it to BTJ. And that's where he got all of his production. You saw it you can literally look at his game log. His targets went up, his yards went up, touchdowns went up, everything went up because he was the only person there. ETN wasn't doing anything. Tank Bigsby wasn't doing anything. I'm pretty sure ETN was actually hurt last year for a little bit of the year. I could be wrong on that. But they didn't have anybody. And even Evan Ingram, who was on the team before he got traded to the Broncos, he was hurt. So he was the only guy out there. He was taking up everything. But now that they have Travis Hunter, ETN back, and I think also Strange is going to be integrated into that offense too. I just don't think where you drafted him, he's going to return on that ADP at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think his week 1, yeah, he was a bust. I think he was only viable because he had like a rushing touchdown, didn't he?
Yeah, he had like a jet sweep type thing. I don't even know.
It's still early. I think I didn't draft him in any leagues personally, but
Neither
I
did
think it just
Same
remains to
here.
be seen. I think it really just depends, right? Because Trevor Lawrence threw a lot to Brenton Strange, which was weird because he's not really a tight end that's picked up in fantasy. Travis Etienne had like the game of his life. I think he was like at 7 carries for like 100 something yards or something like that at some
went off.
point. And then Tank Bigsby was like a no-show. And then Travis Hunter got a lot of looks too. And it seems like they have Travis's receiver 2 there, and they actually have him playing. Well, in this first game, they had him playing more receiver than anything. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. I feel bad for PTJ owners.
Yeah.
I don't think we should panic just yet. It's week 1. You know, it's a little bit of a panic, I think. But I think as far as like you're saying his ADP, yeah, maybe a little high, but we don't know yet, you know. We don't truly know yet. I wouldn't panic just yet. Just like people shouldn't be panicking over Jamar Chase quite yet. Jamar Chase is a triple crown winner, so you know it's.
He got blanketed by Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome.
Who won that game?
The kicker for the Browns lost us that game. All right, I'm just gonna
Okay.
throw that out
I
there.
just want to make sure. Okay, so the Bengals still won, but
Yeah, I mean, how many
anyways.
yards did the Bengals have in the second quarter? 7. How many yards did they have in the fourth? -15.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
It was wild. I will say Joe Burrow's notorious for having super slow starts every year, so I wasn't surprised.
he also plays the Browns horribly. That was
Yeah.
only, I think, his 3rd win in the entire time he's been in the NFL against the Browns.
Yeah.
He's played them extremely bad. Myles Garrett has always had his number.
Yeah, I mean, well, because Myles Garrett is the best. He's the best defensive end in football. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I'm not going to take that away from you guys. All right, H, thank you for coming on. He is our resident Browns fan. If you guys liked what H had to say, or if you did not, please go ahead and go below and start commenting and let him know. He will see your Instagram and your YouTube comments, I believe. I don't think you're on TikTok from what I remember. But
No.
go ahead and let him hear it. There's some pretty wild takes. Some I kind of agree with, some that I'm quite not sure of quite yet. But thank you for coming on. And if anybody else is interested in doing this, please let us know.
Thank you so much for having me.
Later. One thing that I did say, and I forgot to do, I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I made a post talking about that one's craziest like fantasy football thing. You guys remember that one?
Their take. craziest
Oh,
take.
Yeah. And so I wanted to grab the best one from it. Somebody said Jake Moody will be clutch in crucial moments. Yeah, I don't think that happened.
Oh no.
McCaffrey and Robinson will be the best running back duo in the league. I don't think so. I think they both get hurt. Colby said Chase Brown finishes as a top 5.
Yep.
I don't know. Oh,
Top 8
Jesus,
running
that's
back
low.
the last couple of games last season. We're gonna see.
Let's see. Someone said Mikael Williams will get Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I don't think so. Someone said the Saints will finish with a better record than the 49ers by 1 or 2 games. That's wild. The Saints are absolute garbage.
I like that guy.
Another guy, friends of mine, shout out to Keegs Cards. He said Kyler will finish in the top 5 fantasy QBs this year. Check his past fantasy finishes, excluding when he got injured in 22 and 23. So I think Colby will probably agree with this guy on this one, but only because I'm going to keep sticking to that joke and beating it like a dead horse. Call of Duty's dropping. He ain't to be in top 5. He's going to probably be top 15.
Yep.
Someone said Nick Chubb will have a chance to shine with Joe Mixon being injured. I agree, but he didn't look too good, and he is also coming off a pretty horrific injury, so I just think he's a replacement until Mixon can come back. And someone says CeeDee Lamb will be a receiver 1, and Derrick Henry will be a running back 1. That is probably more believable. I don't even think that's crazy. I think that's probably just facts.
Pretty realistic.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb is an absolute dog if he can get rid of his Butterfingers, and Derrick Henry is the number 1 running back currently as of week 2, going into week 2 in fantasy football. So Derrick Henry is an absolute monster, and I think X had him in our community league and absolutely got him for a steal in the second round. I think he got him in, right? Someone said Pickens will finish as a top 10 receiver. What do you guys think about that?
Oh no,
that is a hot take right there. I will give him that. That is hot.
No.
That's a hot take right there. Yeah,
I mean,
don't know about that.
I think is it possible? Sure, but do I think? No.
I'd give him top 25. I think if Dak can get it figured out.
I would say his ceiling would be like top 15, but his floor easily like in the 30s. Top.
I think his ceiling's top 5 if CD gets hurt.
No way.
If CD gets hurt and he's the only guy there, I think they're going to have to throw it to him.
Even if he gets hurt, still top 15.
I don't know, but we'll see.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. They've been absolutely going off lately. I think we're like at 3.4 million views for our memes. So we're hoping to maybe get some more podcast content mixed in with the memes, because I'll tell you what, as someone who's doing the 3 memes a day, it is a lot. And my meme juices are absolutely being destroyed. And I don't know if I have much left with Jerry Jones being stable for 1 week. So it's been kind of hard. But as always, we are trying to build a community here. So if you guys disagree with us, whether it's me, X, Colby, if you want to talk some shit, please do. YouTube's the best way to get a hold of X. Colby's on Instagram and TikTok. I'm in all 3. So if you want to talk some shit, go ahead and talk some shit. I've seen some where you guys don't know what you're talking about. And honestly, after watching last week, I completely agree, because I completely just shat on that Patrick Mahomes sit. But if you guys need fantasy football advice, if you guys need waiver wire advice, please go ahead and comment on our videos, send us DMs, and I'll get it out to the boys. We have a group chat, and we'll go ahead and talk about that. All right, until next time, everybody. X, Colby, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yep. See ya.